Oh, hello, everybody. Yeah, jamming out.
The Calimport way.
This is the traditional Calimport.
This is the traditional Calimport dance.
Everyone at home, do it.
This is how they dance in Calimport. You can't tell, but my lower half on my seat is slowly rotating my chair for some reason. I don't know why.
This is what everyone was doing downstairs in the bar as you walked past to the rooftop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The whole
With this exact music.
The whole tavern, they're just.
Mm-hmm.
There's the lower bodies are just stepping, and their upper bodies just going like this.
And that's why Shaldir was like, I'm in.
I'm in. That's why everybody.
Hey, Shelby, you were given inspiration. Just FYI.
Hey, Galil gives you inspiration.
Thank you, Galil.
Oh.
Too bad. It won't save you, Galil. It won't save you.
I'm just impressed he's here on time.
he was one of the first ones in here. He's like, I was literally talking about a D&D stream.
I have to give him shit because he's not gonna find anybody.
Yeah, it's true. He's like, I gave Martel one last week too. Yeah, did Martel use it? I don't remember. I don't think so.
I think I did.
I think you.
I think I used it on that roll.
Okay.
I don't remember what the roll. I think it didn't matter. I think I rolled like a 7 and a 2.
Got inspired the rescuers. Bet, Dreamy.
Hey, do it. Show up at my house. You're not gonna.
You're not gonna. And if you do, great, cool. You can stay here. I gotta go to work. I got something.
Watch the kids. They're probably suspended again.
No, stop saying. Don't say it. Quick question.
Oh God.
In DM, please. What?
Can you read it out loud, please?
I don't know. He's like, also quick question. In DM, please.
Also,
The
Aaron,
end.
quick question. In DM.
Please. All right, cool. In DM, maybe? I don't know. The lesser
Will
more
you
to that
kill
question.
everyone? Maybe.
Maybe he's saying, please kill everyone? I don't know. We'll find out.
That's not a question.
I mean, it could be. Oh, wait, hold on. There's another one.
First.
Not D&D related. Oh, okay. Oh, you just sent me a message. Oh, why did you send it to me on Discord? You dork. Okay. G portal. This is gonna sound really funny, but that's it. Just look up that. That's where I got the servers stuff. Okay. What is G portal? Don't ask. It's fine. Okay. I think that I don't have. Oh, so gang. Don't forget this week. Game of Santos is not going to be tomorrow. It is going to be on Wednesday. So, if you were,
Oh, that's when you meant Dreamy. Dang it.
yes,
Yeah. You just not got up.
yes, it's.
I wasn't
going
paying
to-
attention. I was like, it's not important.
It's not important. It has nothing to do with me. So yes, this week Game of Santos will be on Wednesday 7 p.m. instead of Tuesday 7 p.m. So yeah, should be a fun and exciting adventure. We'll see what happens to the gang over there because they're circling the drain. A good drain that
You
leads
keep
them
using
to.
that phrase.
Every time you say that, I'm like, they're going down the shitter.
They're
They're
going down
sure
the shitter.
freaking
Well, but
dead.
there's other drains like the chocolate drain at the Willy Wonka thing that the little kid got sucked into and then got.
But that's
sure
a
that's
bad
bad
one
too.
still.
Yeah, but that's a
Doesn't-
bad thing.
They're
That's
all
a
still bad.
punishment.
Those-
He didn't win the factory, Aaron. Have you seen the whole movie?
But he got.
I assumed that it was
Aaron's
to
like,
a
I
good
turned it
thing.
off after the first 20 minutes. I
He
don't know
got
what
sucked
happens.
into a bunch of chocolate. Like that's
Also, it wasn't a
chocolate,
drain.
lot
It
of
was an upward pump.
Well, yeah.
Aaron watches the movie in reverse. It looks like he goes down.
Out of chocolate, Harry.
Yeah, he's made out of chocolate.
You're a chocolate. What?
What, Harry?
I'm
Oh,
a
no.
wasp.
What is in
And a
the
thump
air
a good one,
today?
I wager. He eats them.
We here at Night of Silver Moon love reminding you of your childhood traumas. Exactly. It was fine. He lived at the end. He
And
just
the next thing, Taco, is we're going
He
to talk
doesn't
about
necessarily in the book.
We're going to talk about the big leaf and
I'm just gonna say that he did, and he became the founder of Hershey's later. That's
Oh, well,
Hershey sucks.
yeah.
I didn't say it was good.
Yep.
All right. All right.
Like child
Fix
labor.
your
that's
analogy,
all.
Aaron.
Yeah, it's fine. All right, I think that about covers it for tonight. Good night. No, I'm just kidding. Woo. But I think that's about it. So we'll go ahead and get started with tonight's intro and jump into tonight's session of Rescuers: The Call of Zul. Welcome to Kalimshan, friends. A land of wealth, magic, wonder, and of course, plenty of danger.
Yes.
Wah, wah, wah. Oh, I don't know why I did that noise. That was weird. Anyway. Yes, that's the noise that I was looking for. Yes, for
It's
sure.
right here in your throat.
I'm not gonna try. There are so many things I want to say, but I know that they will get twisted. So I'm not gonna
Immediately.
say them.
Wait.
It's fine. It's fine. Not by you, Sybil. You're an angel. But
I mean,
The rest of
all-
us perverts.
all the rest of you monsters.
Sickos.
Yeah, monsters. Dear sweet little foot, do you remember the way to the Great Valley? Taco, I need you to shut up. Thank you. Yeah, Aaron, we can clip here. That's true. You can't. Yeah, we're not going there. Okay, anyway.
Not if we ban you from the stream, you can't.
Oh.
Also true. Last we left off on Rescuers: The Call of Zul. Martel and Sybil have found themselves here in Kalimport, the city, the capital, the jewel of Kalimshan, a country, kingdom, empire of its own, if you will, far to the south, away from the wars between the rebellion and the Thayan Empire, far removed from everything, or so they might think. They've been brought here on the search of one of their masters, who's being called, as all the rest of the Knights of the Living Order, or Weavers, have been called to action in the aid of this rebellion against the Empire, and one of their masters is missing, a Master Delwyn. Martel and Sybil have traveled here to Kalimport, met a charismatic individual by the name of Shaldir, of mysterious ilk. Is mysterious ilk a thing? Can we say
Milk.
Is
Eric else sounds
Mysterious
good.
milk.
not mysterious milk. No. Mysterious ilk. Mysterious nature. How about that? Of mysterious nature. I like that better. Upon arriving to Kalimport, their lovely captain introduces them to the lovely mysterious elk, yes, to the lovely Naja, a local of Kalimport. She quickly takes them under her wing horns, takes them by the hand, and guides them through the city of Kalimport to a one of her favorite dive bars, the Stumble Down, where they are given a place to rest and kind of figure out where they are going. The amount of mystery and mistrust here is everywhere, as everyone seems to have their own little secrets, and some secrets that they are not so good at keeping. Martel and Sybil announce that they are looking for their lost uncle. Shaudir seems to be here to have a good time, and Naja seems to be trying to get as much money out of these people as possible. But also, they just seem kind of cool and interesting. A little searching into the way that the weave works here in Kalimport reveals some interesting things to Martel and Sybil. Martel gets a sense of the vicinity, the distressful nature that Kalimport finds itself in, currently under the watchful eye of the Cult of the Dragons who have stepped in for the local government. Everyone seems on alert. Is it because they could at any moment be gobbled up by large wyverns that fly across the sky? Maybe. Is it because everything is kind of dark and has a sense of danger around every corner? Also maybe. Sybil focuses her energies into trying to find an aura, something that can give them a clue as to the location of Master Delwyn, where he might have gone, where he might have disappeared to. And the way the weave works, sometimes impressions are left on other individuals. It kind of leaves a residue is not the right word, but it leaves a impression. We'll just imprint. We'll just stay with impression. It's fine. I don't need to make colorful verbiage for this. I already have the word. It leaves impressions on people. It colors them with their own presence. And Naja is one individual who seems to have had some sort of contact with Master Delwyn at some point in the past. What does this mean? I don't know. I mean, that's not true because I do, but what does it mean for our players, Martel and Sybil? And for the rest of the party? I guess we'll have to find out tonight.
Broke Martel.
That's it for Martel. He's done.
Who's Martel?
Wipes face with eraser constantly. It doesn't work. Okay, so enough with the mystery music. Let's find ourselves here in the city of Kalimport as day breaks and the sounds of the city begin to echo through the windows. The heat of the sun kind of starts to push away the cool night air. And Martel and Sybil and Shaudir, three of you awaken in the Stumble Down. And already the scents and smells of the city, both delicious and also a little strange, are starting to waft their way into your rooms. For now, actually, hold the phone. Martel and Sybil, this applies to you. Shaudir is not in his room. He left off that he is within his own separate little place in a little lamp that he had placed into the corner of his room. So, Shaudir, after your long rest, or sleep, whatever you want to call it, what are you doing?
Well, the amount of time that Chowdir can stay in the lamp fully at this point is 8 hours. So at this point, it serves as kind of an alarm clock. And he just kind of onto the floor. It's just
Perfect. I love it.
can't wait till I can do that longer. Oh. And he will bend over, like stretching as he goes, and pick up the lamp, pocket it, and then kind of straighten out his clothing.
Perfect. Alrighty. So now those lovely scents of breakfast and food being prepared, the sounds of people outside your window, and a slight, not as raucous, we'll say, as the night before, but you can hear that there are people that are up and about within the space, the stumble down. Martel, as you awaken, what are you doing?
Well, I think because Sybil and I exchange information, I know that I should probably stick with Chowdir so that I can try to figure out what's going on with Nadja. So I'm going to try and go find my good friend that I met on the boat 3 days ago.
Boat friends.
Yeah. If you got, when you're gonna have friends. Okay, cool. Okay.
I'll probably just like go downstairs and wait for him to come down and get breakfast or something and be like, "Hey there, how's it going, friend?"
Good morning. Did you sleep well?
I did. How about you?
Well enough. And you can see he's still kind of, he's well rested, but you can see he's kind of like working out some of his morning stiffness casually as he's looking for food.
Gross. So, you got a plan for today?
Well, I think that I'm going to follow where Nasha leads us. But I will personally be pushing to head to the Chain Ward, I believe, or the Shackles Ward. I believe that is the closest to what I was looking for.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Good morning,
You know-
gentlemen. Would you like a beverage?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Here we got some morning brew for you.
Is this
And-
alcoholic?
I hope
Of
so.
course, sir.
Ooh,
I like to think it's like a-
starting early.
Boozy kombucha.
Yeah. You're all yes. Oh. Yeah.
That's good.
All right.
Perfect. That'll be perfect for me. Thank you.
All right, as I was saying, I'll tell you what. We're still trying to figure out where to start looking, and I'm not great at that part. So, if you don't mind, I
Not
can
at
tag
all.
along with you if you'd like.
If you cover your own expense with our guide, absolutely.
Sure.
I'm afraid I'm only so affluent.
Same.
But I would be delighted if you would come with us, even if you broke off at a later point.
Yeah, I likely will, but it was good. Good way to see the city.
I am very happy about it. Let's go find a table. Wait
Right.
for the rest.
Okay. Sweet. So, as you find yourself a table easily enough. It's not, like I said, it's not super busy this early in the morning. This is more of a night spot than it is for people here during the day. Oh, Magic Academy. When did you sneak in here? Coming in here with a posture check, trying to get me to sit up straight. How dare you? That's fine. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to stretch. I just need to get this camera to where it doesn't look like I'm just like, I'm not actually this tall. It's just my camera. You're a huge lurker. That's okay. You can lurk. It's fine. We have lurking seats, right? Oh wait, no, sorry. Right over there in this. There's like this whole bottom section if you want to sit in any of those unassigned chairs. So these chairs over here are taken, but those down there you can have as many of those as well. Okay. Yes, finding yourself a table is easily done. And you are given the full continental breakfast. You know, eggs, bacon, mashed potatoes, whatever. Mashed potatoes. I said it. It's a thing now. You guess you get mashed potatoes and hash browns. I was thinking of potato things, but mashed potatoes was the first thing that came out. So you know those morning mashed potatoes. That's what we're all about.
I would eat mashed potatoes for breakfast.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's called.
Garlic
No, that's
and
corn.
cheese.
I was gonna say it's grits, isn't it? No, that's corn. Never mind. We are. Woof, my brain today. All right, so. Yes, you have a table. You are set up, and you begin to munch away. Naja, you are already up and started this morning. Let's switch this to these sounds. As you are outside, moving your way through the dock ward, where are you headed now that you have left for the day?
I'm going to check on my new friends.
Okay. Cool. All right. Easy enough then. Make a couple lefts, another couple of rights, and you walk along the harbor where you have the water at your side. Wow, I could not think of the word water. What I was like, what is that liquidy stuff that's right there?
Aaron, do you smell toast?
Not yet, but
You smell hash browns.
I smell hash brown. Apparently, I smell mashed potatoes. I don't know what that means, but here we are. So as you are walking by, you see the what sounds like seagulls.
Aaron, could you turn down that background noise just a wee bit?
Yeah. Which one?
Thank you.
That one? The seagulls?
All of the background's a tad high.
Okay.
What?
What? She said chocolate.
God, mine.
There we go.
What's your name?
Chocolate.
Perfect. All right. So as you are making your way to this place, you see this stumble down directly ahead, and without a second thought, you take a deep breath and enter. The door closing behind you. You are now within the stumble down, and you see at the table your friends.
I think I'm going to walk up in full Will Riker, just flip the chair around and
Good morning to you.
Hello.
good morning.
You seem very awake.
You know, the sun is so bright, it's hard to sleep in.
Oh,
been
you
up
can do
since the
anything if you
sun
try hard
has.
enough.
Been up since the sun?
Yes.
Oof.
All right.
Have you had any breakfast already?
Yes, I've had a bit.
Ah.
Please enjoy. It's a long walk today.
Well, I am wrapping up because I eat so quickly, but I am ready to go as soon as the rest of us are.
Hold on, sorry, I'm a little slow. These are very good mashed potatoes.
Right?
And one of you two,
I didn't
did you
expect
two
them.
sleep well
Usually
at
they
night?
like fry them or something, but they're just mashed and they're very good.
Right?
Maybe they are fried and mashed. That would be interesting.
They fry them and then they reboil them.
Mashed potatoes, you plop them in oil, they get a nice little crust all the way around. It's kind of weird, but then you break it apart. It's got texture.
Now I'm gonna have to make it.
Boil
It's
a
like a
mashed
spice bread.
Reboiled.
fried mashed potatoes. That's got to be a thing, right? I think it's a
Yeah.
thing.
Twice fried.
Twice fried?
I mean, there's twice baked potatoes.
So yeah. Gotta be something like that.
Twice
Anyway,
I mean, you
fries.
have to boil the French fries before you fry them. So
You could call them twice fries.
twice fries. Oh my god, that sounds. Oh no,
You're so off track tonight.
It's
Whoops.
cool. I am not 100% going to make this after stream today. Not 100%. Nope. Anyway,
so it's contagious.
yeah. I mean, just my mind is just going. Will it work with instant mashed potatoes? I guess we'll
And this
find
is how
out.
this becomes a cooking channel.
Yep. That's. French fries are technically mashed, then fried potatoes. That is true, B-Town. That is true.
Are they though?
I mean,
Anyways, anyway, depends on
I
how
guess
you
it could be. Yeah.
Depends on whether they're like steak fries or something, but
All right. So.
let's
Before-
really dwell upon these potatoes a bit longer.
Oh,
Potatoes.
Fantastic.
this is peak D&D right here. This is how
How can
you
I
know.
incorporate my spells and features into this?
This
food?
is the George R. R. Martin part of it. We're just talking about the food.
Yep.
12
Addition-
dwarves come out and sing a song while tossing plates.
All right. So, what are you guys doing then? Once you're sitting here, you're
Where is
eating.
Lydia?
Oh, she's doing a little bit of research.
Everyone was up before me, it seems. Is she joining us or is she going somewhere else?
She'll probably catch up at some point.
Conveniently pop in. That's fine.
Okay. It's kind of one of those moments. Oh my gosh, Sybil, yes, you are you are going to be the character where they all turn one direction and they look back and you're seated at the table. You're just like, poof, you're there.
Hot bed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
there she is.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Lydia.
Lydia.
Morning.
We were just deciding what we were going to do with the day. Do you think you might have any interest in being guided around by our guide?
I believe we are still looking for some direction, so we are more than happy to. I'm doing whatever Martel wants to do.
That's right. It's my day for the plan.
Martel?
It's your day. You get to do the things.
yeah. Tomorrow.
Was
you
that
guys-
happened to
You guys
was
take
Martel said in person?
turns. Did you say Martel, Sybil, or did you?
Flip the coin. That's what I do. Flip the coin.
Just like, okay, I'll flip a coin. God damn it.
Let the dice
Right.
decide.
This is the best.
That's still one of my kids' quarters. Hold
Have
on.
you tried these potatoes, Lydia?
Green potatoes. I boiled them and fried them. That's a stew. All right. So Tails, I called him Martel. Oh fuck it, Lance. I called him Martel.
There it is.
Chaldir
Shelby will
looks
remember
back
that.
and just
Maybe that's his last name.
That name.
anyone who happened to look at him at that moment would see that he clearly noticed, but he doesn't bring it up at that time.
Naja will do the same.
But you see, everyone at the table does see him like crack open his book and like write down something. And if anyone, no one would be behind him, but if someone were to have seen behind him in a third-person view, they'd see that under the name Gruff is written Martel. And then he closes the book.
Perfect. Perfect.
Oh,
And Graf, what is it that you wish to do today?
Well, because we're still trying to get our bearings in the city, I think it'd be good to just follow you around. We'll assist our good friend here with his quest if we can, and ideally, we'll be able to get a sense of where we need to start looking.
2 birds with 1 stone then.
That's the idea.
Well, I'd be delighted to have company.
I
Even more company.
believe, Shaldir, we discussed payment yesterday.
Yes, if I recall, it was 50 a day.
Yes.
I believe so. Was it start of the day for the whole day?
Yes.
All right then. Looking around just to make sure that no, like, it's not too obvious of a plopping down of a gold on the table, just for in case any ruffians are nearby. He will try and count like in his coat an amount, and then not sliding it across the table noisily, but he will actually mage hand a small handful of coins over to Nasha.
Oh, you don't
That's
have to
for
worry.
me.
Deals take place here all the time.
Well, it helps if people don't know who has too much money on their person.
I mean, most here are either still drunk from last night or on their way to the docks, so you don't have to worry.
Good to know. It is nice to have a fairly safe house. But that covers me for the day.
If you
Well-
two are tagging along, I will let you come at a discount, just to help cover safety.
You see
expenses.
Shouter's kind of like disappointed to hear the discount, but otherwise doesn't mention anything.
I will let you two come for 50 total for the two of you.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I'll take this one. And I
Turn
less
Fang.
discreetly. Yeah. All right, she's got the next one.
Do you do the secret the handshake with the coin in the palm, like you
Oh,
know?
they're
you're-
there.
Yeah, you shake your head.
But it's like too many coins, so they have to keep putting their hands in their pockets and keep shaking.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. No one will notice this at all.
Should we be prepared in any way for a guiding?
What do you mean, Shandir?
Should we have anything on our person? Have anything prepared for ahead of time?
You should have your wits about you.
Always present. But then he like looks at his mug and sees that he's already drunk all the alcoholic morning beverage. He's like, "Oops." Almost, but I'm ready to go.
And you, Martel? Nope, I don't say Martel. I'm staring at your name though.
Flip the
You
coin.
okay.
Flip a coin.
11 or up, and I do say Martel. It was a 1. I definitely say Gruff.
Perfect.
Making use of that nat one, finding the
Yeah,
ways.
get it out now. And you, Gruff, and you, Lydia. Are you two ready to go? I have a feeling you two always have your wits about you.
He does.
Wouldn't make that assumption, but yes, we're ready.
Beautiful. All right. Well, this morning, let me get my notes. Get my notes out. That's what I got to do. Albari, comes over. Looks around at everybody, gives a Naja the quickest little glance, but doesn't linger too long.
So, ready for your first day in Kalimport?
Was that to us? I certainly am. If it's anything at all compared to your wonderful establishment, then it will truly be a city worth seeing.
Nothing in Kalimport is like the Stumble Down. But I do hope you enjoy yourself. Stick close to Naja. She knows all the ins and outs. She'll keep you breathing.
I think we're going to go visit Mother.
Oh,
Did she say mother?
that's quite a walk.
This one here has a desperate desire to go see the Shackles sword. Thinks he can find something there.
Can I roll insight?
I will
Of
not.
course. Roll an insight
Maybe
check.
like 0.5 seconds.
No, for sure.
But whatever it is, I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Okay. You said what was it you rolled?
18.
18. Okay. What part were you inciting?
God, I don't remember what they just said. I just know that it was fishy and I didn't like it.
Mentioning mother.
Mother? Yeah.
The mother, yeah.
Okay. I would say that you didn't really get a sense of anything suspicious out of this or ill intent or anything, but it definitely was like,
Vampires?
huh?
Are they vampires?
They are vampires. 100% mother
Okay.
is a
I
vampire.
knew it!
Well, we should be safe during the day. Now's the best time.
That's a
Perfect.
good point.
No, it'll be fine. You'll be fine. So yes. Nothing super suspicious. There is obviously a shared history with this mother person, but it is not beyond that. Nothing crazy. It seems like.
It's like, okay, so I don't pick up that they're vampires, just that there's something weird.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. All right. So then, if you guys are ready, we will leave the stumble down.
Mm-hmm. And Naja is in similar clothing from last night, but it's much lighter and it will reflect the sun in the daytime.
Okay.
The fabric is lighter in color and in like weave.
Okay. Perfect. For those of you in the Twitch chat right now, if you are not part of our Discord already, do check out our Discord as we have a map there that shows.
It's a very, very large and complicated map.
It's a very, very
There's
big
lots
map.
of detail.
Yeah. Very cool map, but it is a very large.
It's a very, very, very large map.
If I was a rich map.
Wow, it fits the tone of that fits so well. That's amazing. Okay.
We are weird today.
It's all good. So yeah, if you go to our Discord, go down to Knights of Silver Moon D&D and go to campaign art. Scroll up a little bit, you will see the map there of the Rescuers map of Kalimport. I guess actually, I could
I just
post.
replied it, so you can just click on the last thing.
Okay, cool. That way you can see that there. I guess what I should have done is post the one that shows where the stumble down is, but
Whatever.
that would help the most. Let me make sure
The
that
stumble down is in the
A map with
dartboard.
no reference points.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. There is okay. So I did have it. All right, cool. Well, there we
You
go.
are somewhere in this space.
They are somewhere there.
Yeah.
As it loads up, there you go. That's done. Okay. You will find that the stumble down is the only place that has a little tag next to it, and it is right by the harbor. So until we unlock more of the map, Naja,
Mm-hmm.
what route would you like to take to get to the Shackles
Let's
Ward?
see. Let's pull up my map. Oh, zoomed in too much. Okay, come on.
Oh,
Calm down,
God.
map. Calm down.
Hey, yeah, you zoom it all
It's
the way.
fine.
You can...
It's fine. I think we will cut through the Armada Ward. We'll pass by. Hold on, let me see who's there real quick.
Sure.
There's so many Cross references. Not directly next to 3A, but if we run into each other, maybe we'll chat for a moment.
Okay.
And then head northwest up to Mother, avoiding the new spots on the map.
Okay.
If you catch my drift.
Yes. Okay. So, as you all leave, you head out into the city of Kalimport. You begin to make your way southwestward and head out into the city. Let me do all of these things.
Southwestward?
Yes. If the
A
top of the map
bit.
is north, then you're gonna go you're
Mhm.
basically going along the coastline a little bit.
Into
Oh,
the
I see.
Armada
Okay.
ward.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you'll be taking from there. You go from the dock ward. You'll be passing into the Armada ward, passing through the dock ward. You guys do see that. Well, obviously, this is definitely the port sort of things.
Or sort.
The port sort. This is the port sort. This is the port of one of the major ports of Kalimport, right? You're going to be passing through a lot of. You can see that some of these buildings look like they cater to fishing. Some of them cater to taking, like the transporting of goods, as they'll have like little storage yards outside. Are you, Naja, are you taking them more directly through the city, or kind of taking them on the edges?
Let's go through the city.
Okay. So as you are
Because we
passing-
begin to cut up through the Armada ward.
Got it.
Doing our best not to avoid big clumps of military.
Okay, perfect. I know
Being smart about it, but not suspicious about it.
Okay.
I think we should head first to the biggest group of police that we can.
Just punch him in the face.
Bam.
I challenge you.
as you are going, let me change this a little bit. As you are making your way, you pass through the insides of the city. You see the firsthand how different Kalimport is in the sense of, we had talked before about like the awnings and the coverings, right? Or that kind of cover a large majority of the streets, obfuscating them from the skies above, so that you'll find yourself slightly safer, right, than you would without all of those things. As you are traveling, occasionally through these dark and shadowed streets, you will see or hear the flap of leathery wings as large wyverns fly by overhead, or occasionally you'll see the little bit of dust and debris fall from the sides of the walls as something crawls along the edges of the buildings.
And anytime we have to go through an open space, we go very quickly and smartly.
Okay. And it's not like you're hearing people screaming, "Oh my God, we're being attacked," or anything like that. But it just, you do definitely get the vibe that people stay to the shaded areas as much as they can. They still walk about in the open areas. It's not like, but when they do, you see that they kind of occasionally keep a glance upwards. It's just a precaution. Moving through the city, you also come across occasionally the presence of some of the soldiers of the Cult of the Dragon as they come through in their pairs or small little squads. Some look like they are just going to another part of the city. Others look like they are on patrol, keeping a vigilant eye on whatever. The citizens of Kalimport give them space. Not so much in the wide berth, but they definitely, there's almost like an imperceptible little bubble that goes around these people as they move. What is you have a question, Sybil?
Are these riders specifically reptilian or are they various?
The riders? At the moment, the cult of the dragon is kind of of mixed races. There's not really as any specific race. You don't see like a primarily dragonborn or anything. Occasionally, in some of the groups that are traveling together, in the some of the small squads, you will see a dragonborn that does seem to be in charge. But amongst their general populace, you don't see too many. They do have a very peculiar like mask that they wear, and you'll see the different cloak and garb that they have, kind of designating their station, and it does give the look of wrapped leathery wings, kind of wrapped around them, but never an actual like not too many. It's not like they're all lizard folk or anything like that.
But there are lizard folk.
But there are lizard folk.
That
So, as you guys are navigating your way, eventually you come to what looks like the city walls. A tall structure that goes up about 2 stories or 2.5 stories. It's thick enough to where that you can walk on the top, and you see a couple of guards that are just casually kind of looking to either side, and you see that the people maneuver towards a gate that is there, and you see a couple of guards that are there posted at said gate, but it doesn't look like it's necessarily so much of a checkpoint as much as it is just a passageway, and you enter into the Armada Ward, the next space outside of the Dock Ward.
I have a question for you. Would I
Sure.
know if it was easier to navigate if I blended in a little better in the Armada Ward with all the military being there?
Depending on what part of the Armada Ward you're trying to go to, since
If
you
we're
are
kind of cutting through.
if you're cutting through, you shouldn't have too much problem because people still walk through this area, you know, going back and forth as they will. Depending on the sections of the Armada Ward, there are like say, looking at that picture, the Genis pool is more open area because they do a lot of training there. So that is probably more of the military only kind of thing. A lot of the people go up along the wall of the Armada Ward and cut through that little dotted red line. That's kind of the main vein of travel.
Okay.
The Tavir section of the Armada Ward
It's like
is
more strictly military.
that's more of the reverse. You'll have offices
okay.
there of the Armada Ward. The Genis pool is more of the strictly military because they use like that's that open space they use for training the
Gotcha.
soldiers and maneuvers and stuff like that.
Well, then we'll cut up through Tavir.
Okay, so then you walk along the line. For those of you who are,
And I won't shift anything if we're going through the more public way.
Okay, so yeah, you going into that entrance, you cut up along the wall. You kind of just follow the lanes of traffic. For Martel, Sybil, and Shaudir, you see that there is a large section of this place that has looks like military style tents. There's a couple of tall buildings that are sparsely put through here, but you also see that there are soldiers out training, whether it be practicing with swords, some that are even casting like low-level magic. You see a couple of like flame bolts going across and striking targets. The dull thud of impact.
And I'll keep an eye out to see if Hikmat's in sight.
Okay.
For these walls, what is the standard way of going through under them? Like, are they mostly very solid stone except for just a series of gates?
Yes.
So like we
There's
would take stairs up to the top, walk along the top, and then like back down at a point.
Well, you can.
just
There
cut
are
through.
stairs that go up, but for this particular section, there is a gate that you can just go under the wall. And it
What's the
has-
mechanism for the closing of this gate? Is it like
there's a
several
portcullis.
people have to pull a mechanism to open it, or is it more their attendants having it back and forth?
Make a perception check.
All right. I'm bad at that. That is an 11, which makes it a 10.
Perfect. All right. Hard to say. There's you do see that it is a portcullis that it can be used to like cut off. It doesn't have like actual gate doors. It's just a portcullis that is currently raised up.
Okay.
So you figure that it's probably some sort of lever or something that they can easily do that. Either you don't see anything on the ground, so you assume that it must be up on top of the gate at some point, or at some point up there that it might have. But you go ahead.
Sorry, as
No.
as you're going between, under these gates, are we getting stopped by anyone? Or like searched, or is it
Nope.
just like they're watching?
There's a pair of guards on each side of the gate, and they're just kind of keeping an eye as people walk through. But you haven't, as you are approaching and pass through, you don't see anybody get stopped for any reason.
And they're like street-wide gates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
for
not a
mental
small.
notes.
Yeah. It's not a.
For
it's
when
not a-
we will have to inevitably flee in situations.
Yeah, this is not like a small single person gate. It is wide enough for traffic of both people and cart, whatever needs to go through this area. It is definitely wide enough for at least, we'll say, 3 lanes of traffic of people going through.
And I'll kind of let them know in hushed tones so people can't know that my new friends are tourists, but we're entering the Armada ward where most of the military is stationed, so don't do anything I wouldn't do.
I know you
Alright.
well enough to make any quips about that yet. And they'll just like fade back into following
She'll
you.
give you like a wink and then go through the gate.
Okay. As you are going through here, you see that this place also has its own harbor, as there are several large warships that are docked and moored here at this dock or this harbor section. And some ships that look like they're under repairs, large enough to where it looks like the masts that go up also double as perches for some wyverns that are like seated and kind of overlooking the harbor. Their long elongated necks just kind of like occasionally not moving for a while to where you don't, are they alive? And then all of a sudden they kind of shift their head and just kind of keep watching. They're large.
These are like full-sized wyverns, right? Like
Yep.
a person fits around their neck.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that gives you an idea of like the scale of the ship necessary and how these beams for their mast are so reinforced to carry the weight of these creatures. But you pass along the edge, and there's a decent amount of people traveling by. It's not, I wouldn't say as much as like within the dock ward, but there's definitely people here in this area. And so as you walk past the place where Naja, that your contact here is, you kind of keep an eye out, but you don't see at the moment. He is not under his normal, like there's an awning for his abode that he normally will sit under and kind of like watch the soldiers train or whatnot, and he is currently not there. But you continue along that path and start to make your way across the Armada ward, and you see another series of tall walls that you approach now that you are reaching the opposite side of the Armada ward. And once again, another gate with like, another few pairs of guards that watch to see who goes in and out.
Well,
This-
quickly cut through Astare and into Minkla.
Okay. As you approach this wall, though, it is a lot taller. This one goes up we'll say it's about 4 stories, and is a lot thicker than the other one. It has both a portcullis and a gate on the inside that is currently open. But just like before, you're able to go through without any sort of interference. And you enter into what is called the Shackles Ward. Here, the edges of the city are visible. You now see that the Armada Ward sits, or at least the base of this wall sits right at the edges of a cliff that overlook the vast sands of the Kalam Desert that go far, far out to the west. Below you, you see a, not to call it a mud town, but this is definitely the poorer section of the city. A lot of the buildings here are built on top of each other in such a way as to kind of just seem like these little stucco
Definitely
squares.
think Shmi's abode in like Tatooine, episode 1.
Yeah. So very much like everything is piled on top of each other. You still see a few of those tarps covering the streets, but you don't see nearly as many as you do in the other section. This is definitely a lot more open to the air. Even amongst those, you see a couple of tents here and there that have been set up for either temporary or poor men's permanent living. But the pathway goes along the side of this cliff that overlooks the. If you look on the map, you see Adijo is the neighborhood here, and you see the dirt path that kind of curves along that cliffside, and you continue to go northward through Astare and into Minqua. Here within the Shackles Ward. All right. Moving into this section, there is such a difference in the citizenry that you see in the Shackles Ward. The people here, this looks like the slave quarters. They have a lot simpler means of living and therefore are dressed a lot simpler than some of the merchants, mercenaries, bodyguards, and other well-to-do folk that you saw in the dock ward. As you guys are traveling, anything that you are wanting to say or do?
Shaudir will kind of break out of the following formation and kind of keep pace with Naja again.
So remind me, what is it you're looking for here in the Shackles Ward?
Well, anywhere here that extraplanar beings might be traded.
Oh, that's right, because you'd asked about
Yes.
people from other planes.
Like genies. I don't imagine that they would be kept exactly here, looking around at the people. But you said that this at least is where beings are sold.
Well,
And you
if
can see that,
anyone-
you can hear the distaste in his voice.
If anyone has been traded, Mother might know.
Mother. Your mother.
She's everyone's mother.
What sort of person is this mother?
At least she is everyone's mother among the lowly in Kalamport.
Is she a mother that one is happy to have, or due to family must deal with?
She's a mother one is lucky to have. Family looks after each other here.
Good. How many people here of this population in this area would you say are actively slaves?
DM, what would I say? Well, what would be the honest answer?
Yeah.
And then that might change what I say.
Okay. Honest answer? 3/4. Probably. At least to some degree or another. This is the brunt of the workforce for Kalamport lives in the Shackles Ward. Now, the term slave is not so much used as much since the Cult of the
Out
Dragon
of
has taken.
fashion.
Yeah, since the Cult of the Dragon has taken over. But they are considered the main workforce for Kalimport.
It's a lot of like indentured
Kind
bad
of.
contracts.
What'd you say, Sybil?
Indentured servant.
Uh-huh. So
By
just,
definition, if not by name.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, there's most of them are poor men's workers, but it's a step up from the way it used to be under the rule of the princes of the ward. It's still basically bad though.
Most here.
Hmm.
This is the Shackles ward after all.
You can see that he takes that. Clearly, there's a look of disappointment on his face, but he will kind of fall back into following.
Shadir, make a perception check for me. Ow.
But I'm terrible at those.
I know.
16, though.
Okay, not bad. So, looking around as you are traveling, you see that there are a couple of open courtyards that have what look like stages. Off to the side, they have built in large cages, where definitely you can tell that they are big enough to keep a fair amount of people inside. And it doesn't take much of the imagination to kind of figure out what these stages, even though they are not currently in use, what these stages could be used for, as far as auctions or the selling to people. You see that there are large rings placed on the ground where chains could be wrought through. You see that it's just a lot of the remnants of the older way of things.
Anyone looking at Shaudir clearly sees that he's trying to remain a passive outsider, but he is disappointed by pretty much everything he sees.
All right. Graham.
Can
Go for-
I insight check Shaldir to see if I can get a little more
Sure.
details?
Sure.
Dirty 20.
30-20.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking to see like what this might mean to you with your disappointment. If you have any like personal ties to something like this in your past that may affect you in this way, like why is this affecting you?
Not knowing Shaudir, you can't really pin down too much, but you can tell that this is slightly more personal than just a moral issue. There is something specifically related to this type of wrongful act that resonates with him. But you definitely, looking at him and just knowing, you would not assume that he was once a slave.
Gotcha. Shaldir, are you all right?
Yes, it's quite sad, clearly. Having just come from such a wonderful town where most of the population works for a living rather than to merely get by with no status. You take it for granted.
There are a lot of ugly sides to Kalimport.
Owning people should go without saying, but a person should own themselves.
Wait until you meet Mother. She's going to like you.
I'm excited to meet her.
All right. We'll say that as you are saying this, you are reaching the edges of town. And you, just as you start to see that the people that you had been kind of walking around and through are starting to thin out, you don't see as many of them as you do. You almost for a minute start to wonder if you are being led to the middle of the desert. As you don't see any more city, you see one large structure of of building there, and it is a towering mass of, it looks like a manor almost, but it's got definitely a little more put together than the buildings that are around it. They kind of look like this is definitely someone's apartment, that is definitely someone's apartment, and they all kind of look a little different. This is definitely all built up as one
Ask
place.
better.
I'm sorry?
What's that? I said, what's that?
Okay. You're asking, you're asking Naja.
That's not done.
And what would I say?
This is Mother's house.
This is where a mother lives.
As you approach this place, everyone go ahead and make perception checks for me.
4.
4. Yeah.
You're killing it, my man.
11.
I am very distracted.
3.
3.
23.
23.
I was like, Sybil can't roll a 3. Is
I
this
got
your
21.
He's like, "What's that?" And then looks at her.
Can't roll a
feet.
3. I literally can't roll a 3.
Perfect.
I can't roll a natural 20. I mean, I can.
Okay. Make sure that this is set
I'm good at other things. I don't need to notice.
up. In the very front of you see the entrance to this door. It's got a 2-door entrance. At the very front, playing with a little wicker ball, just kind of like rolling it in their hands back and forth. There is a small little girl, probably about like 9 years old, that is watching you guys approach. Crap, I should have definitely have pulled up this page already. Silly Aaron, how could you?
Does she need a name?
No, I have a thing. I just
Okay.
I just had not pulled it up yet.
It's like a really terrible character generator. So it's just like, her name is Robert
Becky.
Steve.
Robert Steve. This is Vessa, Vessa. One of the
Mother's children.
one of Mother's children. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not quite like one of the oldest here, but she's not one of the youngest. She's kind of right in the middle. But she's been here long enough to know who you are. She sees you. Hi.
Good morning, Bessa.
Who are your friends?
I've got some new people who want to meet Mother.
She kind of gets up, looks over and around at everybody. Thank you for reminding me. There was a reason why I asked you to.
I was like, to scare us?
Just, I mean, there is that
Everyone
too.
roll. Okay.
No, just in looking at this place, you see that there are a couple of children. You hear the sounds of children from the inside of one of the open windows. You see on a balcony above, there are a couple of kids that are kind of like looking down at you guys on their tippy toes, looking over the edges of the balcony, kind of trying to peer down. Those of you who rolled over a 15, they are trying to be very sneaky about it, but they are definitely like trying to peek.
Shaldir, as he sees that like kids are looking down at him from the roof, is going to use.
I don't know if Shouty would have noticed those
Yeah, I think
because you
so.
need
Oh,
like
okay.
a low.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, at least for
Okay,
the, at least you definitely noticed the kid on the front steps. Like that's not. It was more
Okay,
of the
well, never
being
mind.
spied on from above is kind of what I was getting at. This definitely
Gotcha.
for Sybil
More
and
me.
Martel. For Sybil and Martel, this definitely gives you the vibe of like an orphanage. What are you gonna say, Sybil?
I want to change my teeth real quick and look at the kids and not really like harsh hiss at them, but like
At the ones that are looking up from above.
Mm.
Sybil.
When you see them do that, they see you and they kind of giggle and like hide behind the edges of
Do
the.
I notice Sybil doing that?
I don't think you're hiding it, Sybil. Are you?
I wouldn't really hide that. You can
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just,
You know, actually, she doesn't see the teeth. She sees me hiss at them, but I don't want her to see the teeth.
Okay.
I
Okay.
do have a passive perception of 18.
My passive,
Passive deception.
Passive sneak.
Try and roll. Do a little stealth check for me.
okay,
Once again, it's that office gift.
Yeah. 13. Yeah. You are definitely trying to be low key about it, but I would say Naja probably does. She catches what you're doing.
okay.
Shadir probably has no idea.
My
What?
list.
The
There's
little-
so much sand everywhere.
Yeah.
There's sand over there. There's
Irritating.
sand
It
over
gets
there.
everywhere.
Not like
Coarse
you.
and rough, and I love it.
Yes, exactly.
Oh. Nothing.
Just
Okay.
another nodule. Remember this.
The little girl like looks over at Shadir and Martel and Sybil, and she gets up off the stairs and goes over to Shadir and looks up at you. You're here to
Hello?
You're here to see Mother.
Yes, I believe I am. Looking up at Nasha to be sure that he's properly addressing.
Are you going to adopt me? She gives you just like this big beamy smile.
Anyone looking at
Knowing
Shadir sees
the-
he's heartbroken in that particular
Knowing
moment.
the kids here, do I know she's being sincere or do I think she's like messing with him?
A little bit of both. She's kind of hopeful to see what the answer is, but also knows that you rarely bring anybody here for that.
I'll give her a
reason.
little wink. I'm proud of her.
Shadir, caught off guard by this question, looks, at least for a brief moment, clearly heartbroken.
Which
And is just,
she's probably going to eat up. Just you see she sees your hesitation as blood in the water and just starts to do like the
Like
the
big
bi-
anime eyes?
the big eyes.
Or like
just
Puss in Boots eyes.
Yeah, Puss in Boots eyes. Kind of puts her
Boots eyes.
hands with the little toy. She just kind of like brings up her shoulders and looks up at you.
And so what do you
he
say
gets-
to
he gets down
Corvetta?
on one knee to at her level and is like, not today, but I'm sure that someone
My
as wonderful
friend
as
here
you,
will be here for many days.
I'm sure someone as wonderful as you will be adopted any day now.
I really am wonderful.
I didn't hear that, I'm afraid.
I really am wonderful.
I'm sure you are.
She turns around, doesn't even like let you finish, turns around and like goes like jumps up the steps and opens the door. Mother! Big sister's here. She like steps back and like gestures for you guys to come inside.
As we're walking in, I take Nadia aside and be like, is she actually wonderful?
She's
No.
pretty great.
That's good.
She's smart. Did you see what she did to Shoudir?
Poor guy.
Shaldir,
I told him
like,
to keep
look,
his wits about him.
Shaldir's looking at the ground, and he will kind of like be brought back to the moment, and he'll look up at Naja. What was her name again?
Bessa.
I'm going to insight
Oh.
intention into this.
He sees that you just look at him weird. He's like, he says, "Never mind," and he's going to look at the ground, and he's going to wave his hand in a clearly like artistic way, and he's going to write. He's going to cast Mold Earth, and in a series of like colorful writing, it will say, "Wonderful children here," and it'll have an arrow pointed at the house.
Oh.
But then he sees you react as like, wait, and he scratches out. He scratches out the writing and changes it to adoptable. Sorry, I'm clearly not in my element here. I was not expecting.
I told you to shout there. You've got to keep your wits about you.
I was expecting bandits. I can deal with bandits.
You were
Did you
expecting
rob me? And he's gonna
bandits.
check his robes.
And mothers.
Did
Did she rob him?
Make it, I don't know, another perception check?
Kind of hope she did.
Or investigation.
Oh, thank God, investigation. That's just a
'Cause
plus
that's-
0.
Because
That's an 11.
All right, cool. No, nothing's missing.
I'll have to prepare for more encounters then. He's
Yeah.
clearly very shaken as he goes inside.
Beautiful. All right, so moving inside, you find that this building is. Go ahead.
Check chat.
Oh, hold on. Oh, yes. All right, fine, it's fair. You're like, wait. All right, we need a potty break. That's fine. It's a good time. Just as we're gonna go inside. We will be right back. So don't go anywhere. We're gonna go on a quick little breaky time. All right, see you soon. Bye.
invisible.
No, that's from Narnia. That's from
I,
Voyage to the Dawn Treader.
Because I definitely did not click the button way too early.
Uh,
But here we are. It's fine. We're all back now. We're good.
We're great. We're great.
We're good. Welcome
We're
back.
talking about using
something.
nerd stuff as bedtime stories.
Yeah.
teaching our kids
Mhm.
life lessons with D&D and
Mhm.
books.
I like this. I like this plan. This is a good plan. Okay. Where were we? Oh yes,
Mothers.
mother.
And children.
Particularly one
Children
precocious-
here.
yes,
Whoops.
children here. Okay. Entering into mother's home, you see the first room that looks like from the outside is several large domiciles. It's actually a rather cavernous space here on the inside as you enter into a large living area filled with cushions, kind of like giant bean bags, but more in the long shapes of couches and such. Plenty of spaces for people to sit and relax. A large, how do I put it? Kind of like a hanging lantern, but long-wise, hangs from the ceiling, casting light up on the roof. There's like a metal lattice work that kind of covers it, preventing little sparks or whatever from flying out the side, but it provides a very intricate and beautiful pattern along the ceiling as the flames on the inside. It's almost like if you saw one of those little long fire pits that some people will have on their outside, but you hung that up from the ceiling and now have this light that kind of is cast about. The large domed ceiling of this living space is thousands of tiny little square like tiles, a little mosaic that spreads all the way across in these marvelous little patterns. So not only does the light shine and create these shadows on the wall, it also reflects off of this illuminated dome mosaic, creating a very beautiful and vibrant space. You see a couple of kids run by, one chasing the other from one room into the other. There's a couple of little side hallways, some stairs that lead up to a secondary floor. But this main space is definitely the biggest and largest space of this house. And you can see all these little alcoves that seem to go in a bunch of different directions. From one of the back hallways, you see a beaded curtain part. And a older looking goblin woman steps out. She has a little bit of white wiry hair, but most of it's gone. There's a couple little like strands that stick out here and there. Very, very blue eyeshadow covers these aged goblin eyes. A simple little brown tunic that hangs down to around her feet as she shuffles forward, the bottom of which is bedazzled and sequined to look like the waves of water that roil all the way around the edges of her tunic dress. In her hand, she carries like a little cup with a small spoon, and she looks over at Naja. I was not expecting you today.
I've got some new friends. They're looking for information you might be able to help with.
Friends, you say?
And she'll gesture at the three.
Shaldir will bow very deeply.
Cool.
So
Sit
will
down.
Martell.
Sit down. Sit down. Did you say Sybil and Martell?
I said so will Martell.
Ah. I was like, oh, we're just going straight out with it, aren't we?
I wouldn't lie to this old
Gave-
goblin woman.
Completely gave up on Haley's.
Mm-hmm.
To heck with it. Shaldir will look for just an open spot with a cushion and sit down if there is one.
She comes forward a little bit. Finds herself a nice comfy spot and like sits back into the chair. Naja, do you use? I'm assuming you don't go by any particular aliases with Mother.
Mm-mm. She knows who I am.
And where do these lovely friends of yours hail from?
You know, actually, I don't know. As far as I know, from the Shining Fates.
Oh, interesting. So, what can Mother do for you?
I assume she's talking to me.
She's talking in general to
yeah.
the three of you.
I am personally looking for information in regards to the trade of extraplanar beings. And he's watching her appearance to see if her reaction to see if he should change his vocabulary.
Make an insight check.
Insight. I think I'm still bad at that. That is an 8.
She doesn't seem to be phased at all by what you say.
Have I introduced myself at all? My name is Shaudir in Milaj.
A pleasure, son of Milaj. I'm afraid that I am unfamiliar with anyone who would deal with such peculiar individuals. Many are those that I know within the Shackle wards, but those from beyond the plains, we have not had dealings of that variety in over a year at least.
Well, this particular one would have, if it's the one I'm specifically looking for, would have occurred around 26 years ago.
Oh,
Or more.
curious. It sounds like you know who it is you seek. Perhaps, more information might be of use if you feel comfortable, of course.
Shaudir will look around the room and see how everyone else is reacting.
I want to say Naja is sitting on the other side of you from Mother, not in like keeping you in place kind of way. She's just curious, making mental notes as you reveal things.
Martel,
Yeah.
Martel, Sybil, are you, to all of this, are you reacting at all or just kind of letting it play out?
Yeah, we're letting it play out. Or I am.
Okay.
Shaudir takes a breath and is... I am looking for Milaj.
Oh.
How old does Shaudir look?
Around 26.
Curious. Given some time, perhaps I might be able to find someone who might be familiar with the movement of such individuals. But I personally have never heard the name until I was blessed with it today.
I see. She would not currently be, hopefully, in the trade, but I'm trying to look back. I've been looking following the path of it. To be more specific, through a variety of circumstances, my father came in possession, literally, of my mother. And I'm trying to find how and where he did that.
Your mother was someone of extraplanar variety?
Shaudir kind of gestures at himself.
I see. Given time, I will try and reach the sources I have at my disposal. But I would need a few days at most. My resources do not lend me to leaving the Shackles ward nearly as often as I would like.
Well, if I can do anything, not only to expedite the process, but help with yours, help with any goals that you might have while I'm here. This is my sole reason for being here. But I could make the time of waiting into a time of action, if I could.
I see.
Naja, who's offered to guide me, speaks highly of you.
Because I taught her everything she knows. I will reach out to those that I have nearby who might have some sort of records of such things. But if you find yourself in the Grand Ward, seek the Emerald Stream. It's a storefront, Naja. It's over by the one food place that you like so much. Go
Which
to
word?
The Grand Ward.
The Grand Ward. Of a storefront by the name of the Emerald Stream. They have been known to procure unique things there. They might have some record of extraplanar trinkets. They dealt with people who come from far away. They might have heard the name. Perhaps it's worth looking into. I'm assuming your mother was a genasi like yourself?
Shaudir kind of sidelong glances at the rest of the room and says, "We can operate with that assumption for now."
Just turn around, start walking away, and minding my own business.
I'm not a part of this conversation.
Can I insight check him?
Sure.
I want to know what's up with your mom. 14.
I think I'm actively trying to have a little bit of facade. That is a 24.
Nice.
It's hard to read.
Yep. Dang. Damn.
Something you're good at.
That's an intelligence check, right?
Yeah.
Like a wizard should be.
Naja, the place that she mentions is next to Rafi's establishment.
Okay. If anyone pays attention, they would notice a little gleam in Naja's eye when the Emerald Stream is mentioned.
I think I'm clearly too distracted and not noticing. Well, thank you so much for your offer. I imagine I'll be spending a fair amount of time for the next couple of days at least in Naja's company. So if you have ways to contact her, you would likely be able to contact me.
We have our ways of getting in touch, yes. I hope your pockets are lined, young one.
I have saved up a little.
You'll need it, more than likely. Naja.
Mother.
In Kalam Shani, she's going to tell you, be nice to this one. He's adorable.
I will reply, he's sweet if a bit clueless.
She just chuckles. Looks over at Martel and Sybil. And
I will not insight check the language spoken in front of me.
She looks over at you two. Are you friends of him, traveling companions?
I'd like to think we're friends, though we did just meet.
Oh.
Shaudir clearly smiles when you say that you consider them friends. He's just like,
Dear Mom, I've got
That's
friends.
anybody else in Calenport?
What brings you to the fine city among the sands?
Well, we're actually here looking for our uncle.
Oh, everyone's looking for someone these days, it seems.
We're having something of a family gathering, and no one has heard from dear uncle in quite a while. We did last hear that he was here. And Aaron, how long ago was the last sighting of Delwyn?
Last he had spoken to anybody, it had been a couple of years since he was here. So this was like probably within the last two years or so was his last time anyone had heard from him. So recent, but not terribly recent either. This was, however, considered to be his home. So
Okay.
it's not like he was passing through and stayed here for a while. This was where he lived.
Aaron, we said 2-3 months.
Yeah.
What are the kinds of things that he would get up to? Like, what does his footprint look like, I guess?
3 toes, 4 claws.
You're marked right here.
Yeah.
Did Sybil tell anything to Martel about what she saw the night before?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So I'm assuming we shared information. I wouldn't
Oh, yeah,
actually say it. Yeah.
We shared all the information. We have a constant connection, pretty much.
Told her all about the birds.
All the birds. Okay. So then the two of you are aware of the aura that has surrounded Naja. Okay. He was one of the masters that generally kept to themselves the most. He still did his fair deeds as a knight when he was supposed, when he felt so inclined, but he was probably one of the less overt and altruistic generally. Kind compared to a lot of the other knights who kind of jump into the thick of things. He was more resigned and would do so under, like, if absolutely necessary, he would do something about something. But he's not going to go out of his way to try and find problems to fix either. But that was just probably partially due to the fact that this was his home. This was what he was used to. Or he's kind of has that same Callum Portian like mentality of like, I'm minding my own business kind of thing. But now with extra bits. But yeah, that's kind of his personality wise.
Sure. So I guess I would say he's not going to be easy to find. He kept to himself quite a bit. He's Callum Shani, he's from here. He's very much a child of this city, but he would have probably been a part of big events, and he would have been a great swordsman as well.
Interesting. Well, a lot has changed within the last year. Many are lost. Have been lost. The death of the Sil Pasha and the princes was a very unfortunate turn of events for the city. But in some ways, a blessing in disguise. After a fashion, I suppose. And because of that, many who consider themselves children of the city either left to find new homes or secluded themselves even further. I hope that your friend is all right. The city has gotten awfully dangerous of late.
He was the sort to be able to look after himself, but I see what you mean.
You know, she looks over at Naja. Just the other day, half a dozen or so disappeared. You remember the Silver Sands over a few blocks north of here? Up and vanished. Very, very sad. If your friend is able to take care of himself, then I'm sure he will be quite all right. Just make sure that you
Looks over at Sybil as well.
are able to watch after yourselves as well. You especially.
She looks over at Shoutir.
I'm afraid that you will spend too much time with your head down that you aren't looking up. Make sure you heed Naja's words. Something lurks in this city. I can feel it.
Does it have anything to do with the number of dragons in the air?
I'm not one to put too much credit on those scaly beasts, but that is part of the reason I don't leave the house as often either. It's way too delicious.
kind of like does this with her cheeks a little bit, and you see how much her cheeks actually sag on her. She just kind of like.
Well, you've come at a good time. I have just made some fresh pudding. Do you want some?
Hell yeah.
Have the children eaten?
Oh, those beasts are always eating. Of course they have. There's never a moment when they stop. Well, why, I remember a time when Naja was one of them.
She gets up and starts walking back to the kitchen. You can hear her shout some names for them to heed her call, and you hear from different parts of the house, "Yes, mother, yes, mother." It's like children seem to like apparate from hallway, doorway, and drop from the ceiling almost, as they just like chase after her through the beaded curtain to go
The bearded
back.
curtains.
The bearded curtain.
It's all facial hair.
No!
Gross.
I hate it. I hate it so much. It looks like the moss that hangs from trees. It's just a curtain of that moss.
Iskra redeemed hydrate.
Ooh, thank you, Iskra.
It's a car wash. Crap. No. Okay. Perfect. So in the moment that has that's where she has left, what are you four doing?
I'm gonna look at Gruff and Lydia. You two really don't have anything else to go off of in your search. We're still looking for a particular grain of sand in the whole desert.
Have an idea, but this is definitely more interesting.
So it's not a rush finding your uncle for this family event then.
When is this family event?
Rush the way of the universe.
Suppose you could
It'll
say it's
happen.
already happening.
Up, Gruff.
You two are very mysterious. What
We're not
happens if your uncle is not present for this already proceeding event?
This is not required, just preferred.
It'll be a smaller family photo.
Wow. I like that. Small family. Saves room. It's fine.
You like
Yeah.
ghost have your hand over someone's shoulder.
Just a little cutout.
Yeah, this is where you'll Photoshop him in later. It's fine.
Was he in any Did he have any trouble with the cult, do you think? The one that recently took up residence here.
There's a chance, but I doubt it.
Yeah. He did really keep to himself, which makes it so much harder.
Where did he live?
Here, somewhere.
Did you keep up any correspondence with your uncle? Or do you just assume that he's here?
We are
When was
very
the last
careful
time you
with
saw him?
information. So we are very careful with our information, and if sometimes we don't even know where we're from.
Been there. I don't even know where I am anymore. In a day and age of magic and magical travel, it's very easy to just get lost and be like, where am I?
Well, I hope that we can find him. It sure would be difficult with the amount of info that we have.
So Naja, conversation as you had left, was Shadir basically asking Martel and Sybil like if they had no idea where in the city that he was at, and then why, like, when was this family event? And Martel was like, you could say it's happening right now.
And Sybil was like, "Shut up." They don't even know where he lives, Naja. I'm beginning to think that he might have not just moved, and they don't know.
Probably for the better.
I can't remember if y'all had said last time if you were going to try to, if that was in character or out of character that you said you were going to try to get more knowledge.
So yeah, in character we said we were going to try and get more knowledge, and then we meditated. So that was how we found.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like to the group. I didn't know if you said you were going to try to like figure out more.
Did your uncle have a living? Maybe he worked with people. Like, is he
Family
a
business.
librarian? What did you say, Lydia?
Look.
Family business.
Beautiful.
We could
Beautiful.
try.
Power to you. I don't know how the hell you're gonna find him.
We could try the Quill Ward. See if there's any records. If he appeared on a census or in any business dealings. Anything written. But that might take a while.
I suspect also that might not turn up much, but it's an avenue we could try.
Is he a fugitive?
No. Probably.
Well, I appreciate the discreet nature of many a family business. If you're going to want to find him, you're going to need something. Or
Maybe he
to
was
share
arrested. Maybe he's in one of
something.
the prisons here.
Possible.
It's. And she's going to look around for a second. It's not so much that people get arrested anymore.
So, sorry, the dragon cult took over a year ago, you said?
Mm-hmm.
And they're the ones that stopped arresting people?
In a fashion.
Right. So we haven't heard from our uncle in several years. Did the previous regime still do prison?
Yes.
When the cult took over, what happened to those prisoners?
That was a
They
mixture.
vanish.
That was a mixture. Some were. You imagine that many of them were given the opportunity to.
Just to volunteer for the
Mhm.
army, depending on the nature of the
Mhm.
crimes committed.
And other than that, no one's going to miss what was already put away.
Well, from the amount of information you seem to have, you'll literally need to go grid by grid and just check, because I don't know what you'll be able to go on.
Sybil, go ahead.
And I want to walk over to Naja, and I want to try to hold her hand or touch her in some way, and I'm going to use guidance.
Okay.
Oh,
But as she's asking that
Lydia.
question,
You're going to what, Sybil?
but I want as she's asking us, God, my fucking brain, like as she's asking us for more information about him, I want to go hold her hand, and I want to use guidance.
Mhm.
And kind of let her see if that helps her figure it out a little bit more, because I know she has that connection with him.
Okay. Curious. When you go over, you place a hand on.
We've been raided.
Oh, we've been raided.
Oh, God.
What?
Bards!
Bards.
Love you.
We've been raided by bards. Oh no, Hydra wives, Hydra husbands. It's a raid of bards. Good to see you, friends. Good to
Nice
see
to
you.
see you.
Mwah.
Oh no. Woody, what have you done? What have you done?
I left and it was just dick jokes. What did you do?
Mistakes have been made. Cheer us up.
We'll have to chat, Hannah. We'll
It
catch
was
Whose
an event.
sultry voice
Uh-oh.
are you needing to ease your pain?
I know.
Not mine at the moment.
Mother, get back here. Prison Nazi.
Oh no.
All right.
the guidance in hand.
Yes. So I was trying to think. Do you place like a hand on her shoulder or something?
Yeah, I think she would be receptive to like a finger touch.
Oh,
That would
I
definitely
will
be a lot more
look at you
effective.
intrigued if you're gonna like grab my hand.
Now, I don't want to say this very loud, just enough so she can read my lips and understand, and I say Delwyn.
Okay.
Does that name mean anything to me?
Your hand grasps Naja's for a moment, and as Sybil, you say Delwyn, and you cast guidance. Your magic doesn't quite work like magic does normally. Shifts and strands of the weave move along your arm. Just enough for Naja. You see, as she whispers the name, and you see her hand on yours, you see just so perceptibly what looks like small invisible strands kind of weaving their way from beneath her sleeve and across her palm and down around her fingers and in around yours. Just enough. It almost looks like if you could see hair, like real fine, like clear movements of strands kind of just like weave their way again with the strands, weave their way around her hand and yours, and you feel a surge. And your eyes widen. There is only one other person that you have ever met who has had this kind of an effect, you've seen this sort of, and magic takes all shapes and forms, right? Like there are all sorts of arcane practitioners and everyone has their own flavor from sights, smells, sounds of the way their magic works. And it's usually colorful, bright flashes or of some fashion or another. But this is transparent. And it is exactly an identical form as to a man you know as Gaius.
Gaius.
Martel, Sybil, it's not often that masters are referred to in with their full name, but you do know that Gaius is the formal first name of Master Delwyn.
Galdier would like to see if he can kind of figure out what magical thing just took place.
Sure. Make a Arcana check for me.
That is a 15.
15. There's something strange. There's a shimmer in the air around Sybil's hand. It's not overtly flash. You just see the shimmer of something. And you're used to seeing magic in various kinds. This is a unique way. It doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, do I detect like a holy
necess-
symbol or a identifiable arcane
There's
focus?
nothing that really stands out with what she did, but for whatever reason, there was like when she whispered whatever she said to Naja, she had just mouthed it. You seeing it from the side, it's almost like a heat wave where you can kind of see like a slight shimmer in the air around her hands, but it wasn't like colorful, it wasn't flashy, it wasn't anything. It just kind of just enough with a 15, which 15 was the DC for that. You see just enough of something happen, but whether it's magic or whatever, it's kind of, you can't really tell, but you did see something happen.
Thank you.
And
You looking.
Lydia, you do hear her say Gaius?
I just kind of smile softly and nod to her and take a step back.
Well, something clearly happened, Shoutir says aloud.
Miss Lydia apparently has a very magical touch.
We know so
Gross.
little about Miss Lydia.
Oh my.
Oh my.
You hear all of the children from the kitchen come back. And there's like 3 of them that carry these little tiny bowls with tiny little spoons. And they, one brings 2 and gives it over to one to Naja, one to Shadir, and the other one little boy. He's probably like 5 years old. Waddles up to Martel, like very much this large, like bowl is a little big for him, and he's just like brings it over to you, Martel, and for Sybil,
Thank
you
you.
you see,
It's just like a little gnome boy.
yeah. And then Sybil, there is a young water genasi that comes up to you, Sybil, and gives over this little bowl of pudding, does a very slight little bow, and then quickly runs off with his siblings to the back room. His mother reemerges from the beaded curtain. Not bearded, the beaded
Ew.
curtain.
Well, I hope I didn't miss anything. Where were we? All right. You were looking for your... Yes. And you... Okay. Give me until tomorrow evening, and we'll see what I can find.
That was the Shoutir, right?
Yes. Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, shut in. Because Martel and Sybil, you haven't told her much of anything. This is you were looking for your uncle, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
thank you very much.
Of course. As far as your uncle goes, do you know which ward he lived in?
We don't.
Do I know? At least where I saw him the most.
Yes. You now having this as a backdrop. My goodness. He spent a lot of time in the Hammer Ward. And the Quill Ward, where a lot of where he would wind up. You know that he lives in Kanduk, however. Or lived in Kanduk. Last you knew, he lived there.
Mother being here always seems to give a mote of inspiration.
But
Wasn't even intentional.
Shoutir will be eating the soup during this meantime, or the pudding.
Nice. Of course.
I feel as though the desert winds are carrying me in a certain direction.
A good direction, I hope.
A curious one.
She looks over at Martel, Sybil, and Shaudir.
Oh, she's got that look in her eye. It's a good look. It's a good look. But I know when my daughter has focus. And Nasha, you look focused. Well, eat up, enjoy your pudding. Before it gets too warm. Nobody likes warm pudding. then
Depends.
it's just chunky soup.
Why, Aaron? Why?
It's very good, I
I
assume.
like chunky soup.
Can I roll for soup tastiness?
Everybody make Constitution saving throws. No, you're fine.
Nice. Oh.
Well, I'm good at that. That is a 19.
You're fine. You're fine. Mother didn't poison you this time. All right.
I sure hope, because I've not been inciting anyone.
It's
Fair
my
enough.
favorite
Uncomfortable.
aspect of your character.
So, you guys finish up your pudding, your delicious tapioca pudding, which was very delicious, by the way. And you're also like, no.
Did not eat it.
Did not eat it?
Nope.
Alrighty.
I ate it.
You eaten
I ate hers.
anything since you
I
got
know.
to Calimport?
She's dieting,
Resilient.
probably.
And I have my reservations of things. I am me, and I do not eat in front of people.
So she's a construct.
I is a human construct.
All right.
She's a
So
vampire.
there you go.
That
Now
would explain. She's looking for more of her kind.
Mhm. All right. So, that being the case, you guys spend a little more time. Mother makes some wonderful small talk, gossips a little about the neighbors. Everyone, for the most part, seems to be doing fine in the Shackles ward, Naja, except for the Silver Sands. It was quite quick that an entire family of 5 would disappear from one day to the next, it would seem. And though she avoids the subject, it kind of comes back around again. You can see the sadness in her eyes. And you know that one of the children in the Silver Sand family came from Mother's house. They lived, if you were to look on the map, they are the top of the Minqua and Astaire, that top corner. They lived right at the junction.
Would that trigger something for me? Based on what you've sent me, the map.
Based on what you know of the area,
Mm-hmm.
there's a little bit of the sinking feeling and a little bit of, oh, that might make sense. But
Yeah.
and it's not like those areas of town are necessarily like the most dangerous. It's just they're the most shifty.
Mm-hmm. Are things beginning to happen a little more in those spots?
A little bit.
Well, Nasha, I don't know if there's another location you had in mind. There were some the other day, but certainly it appears that my next goal is to head to where Mother. He struggles with like a title, like he nearly says Miss Mother. She indicated something in the Grand Ward. I know I'm interested in that.
Yes, we can. Made the mistake of clicking on a gram link.
Foolish.
Never do that. Rookie move. Rookie move.
Yes, so we can make our way to the Grand Ward. And then perhaps after, do a little more research into this uncle.
There should be a way we can help each other out.
hope you're ready to do some more walking. And I hope you're ready to be on your best behavior.
I am very well behaved. And you see he like straightens up and even more delicately scoops around the bowl for what's left of the tapioca.
Mother kind of just chuckles to herself.
I'll look over at Sybil and be like, she is not.
Look at him, say, nobody is.
Nobody is.
One person right there.
It is
looking
it.
at him.
I'm
Beautiful.
inclined to agree with my friend Groff.
Alrighty. Well, before too long, you guys get up and head out, I'm assuming? Unless there's anything else you wish to ask or inquiry of Mother at the moment.
Shaudir
Inquire.
bows. It was a great pleasure, ma'am.
It was definitely a blessing. Thank you for bringing these lovely individuals, Naja. The best of luck, and I will see you soon. I will see what I can find, okay?
She reaches out and like clasps your hand, Shaudir, and gives it the little pat, on the top.
I will give Mother a kiss on the forehead.
Sweet as always, you little devil.
Laughs at her own pun. All right.
As we walk out, Shaudir will erase in the dirt whatever sign he had made. And anyone who sees him do that, he'll like look over his shoulder and be like, whatever I would have left would have been a bad idea from some viewpoint.
Fair enough.
Better to wipe the slate clean.
Alrighty.
All right, this is how I want to go to take us.
Okay.
I want to come down through Astare into that little corner of Tafir because I
Okay.
want to enter
The
the
Armada?
Palace Ward through
Oh, okay.
Armada instead of through the Shackles Ward.
Okay.
And in the Armada Ward, I'm going to shift weave.
Okay. So, let me see here. Oh shit.
We're gonna fight.
You all take a left turn down the street.
Yeah. Moving out of the Shackles ward, you guys go up a steep embankment, climbing high up to the massive walls that you now see, like the entirety of Kalimport's outer wall, where the Shackles ward kind of sits and up against. Is you see how high this side of Kalimport actually is, and it's kind of made even taller now with that 4-story wall from down below, creating this massive imposing sight of this large wall. And then from beyond it, the palace ward that kind of rises up into this like pointed center. You see the towering palace central spire and all of the buildings around it with its opulence, very much lording it over, you could say, the entirety of the Shackles ward. As you climb up higher and higher, you pass back into the Armada ward from the Shackles ward side. So if you were to go look at your map, you'll see that there at that little corner of Estade and Tavir in the Armada ward, there is like those little squares are gates. That's how you would go in from one city into the next. Let me see what else. So passing back into this side of town, back around a decent amount of people again.
As we make our way through these buildings, I want to step into an alley for a second and shift the shift weave.
All right. So you see the colorful garments that Naja steps into the alleyway with when she steps back out again in this darkened
more
shadow.
Upper class, a little more money looking.
Very nice.
Alrighty.
I would do an equivalent, but I don't. And so you see, he just like kind of brushes himself off.
Sort of look at Sybil and smirk.
Sybil, you said I saw that you had mentioned earlier you want to have a conversation. Yes.
1 second, please.
No, you're good. You're good.
Shaudir
that
will
life
say,
well.
Yeah.
the only thing that I can change to hopefully help with this, you see he'll like put his fingers to his temple, and his eyes will just kind of, the iris will turn blue. I literally don't know what that'll do, but it's trying to follow in your example. Appearances.
I missed the last like 2 minutes.
No, you're good. So you guys are passing into from the Shackles ward to the Armada ward. During that time, Naja finds a moment of where there's not a whole lot of people around you, steps into a shaded section of an alleyway in one kind of clothing, and then there's like literally a step in and step out, and the moment she steps out, it's a lot nicer looking clothing. It's almost like one of those quick change artists that just pop a different outfit on, and now she's now in like a lot richer looking clothing. But what I was saying was, you had said earlier that you had wanted to have a moment to talk to her.
But I didn't know how many assumptions I could make. I want to know directly if there are some things that I know and some things that I don't know, like
Sure.
who's a vampire and whether or not I've figured out that Chowdir is not a wizard.
I don't know what you're referring to. I definitely was using my spell.
That is going to be the entirety of this miniseries. Is just going to be Sybil trying to. Are you a vampire? Are you a vampire? Are you a vampire?
Oh, you
Step into the light.
A fucking vampire.
All of y'all.
I am a daywalker.
I mean, that's pretty much the gist of what I'm wanting to go with. Is like I'll help. I'll do whatever I want. Whatever you need me to do. Just don't turn me into a fucking vampire.
Hydrate check.
Thanks for the hydrate.
It turns out that your level of subterfuge actually goes one more layer deep, and you're actually just
You're
a
the
vampire
vampire?
hunter.
You just don't know you're a vampire hunter, but you are.
Hasn't been activated yet. But as soon as the
The
fangs
moment
gosh.
any one of
What
us
we do
says
in the
vampire,
shadows,
she
Guillermo
goes,
Oh my
is like
god.
descended
Right.
from vampire hunters.
Guillermo.
Good show.
Perfect.
Keep paper.
He's fucking guy.
Fucking guy.
All right.
Anywho, I do want to okay, so I pulled Nausea aside. I do believe we can help each other. I just don't want our interests to conflict.
You're in search of Gaius. He's your uncle?
With the hesitant.
Sorry, I missed that.
Said yes. But with hesitant.
With hesitance.
I have seen him more recently than you have, and might know where to start looking.
You can guarantee our safety and the consistency of our ability to keep ourselves, and I make eye contact with the selves. I'm sure there's a lot we could do for you.
Family of Gaius, I would do anything for. Plus, you have paid me and I'm your guide. I'm under contract.
Carry on. Let's
Alright.
carry on. Sorry.
Alrighty. No, you're good.
Phones are dying.
You're good. All right. Perfect. Let's see here. We are gonna go. I'm switching up the music real quick.
After a minute, the blue irises turn back to brown. He's like, it doesn't last very long.
Beautiful. I love it.
The brown looks better on you anyway.
Well, thank you.
Ah,
You so far have looked very nice in whatever version of that dress you're wearing.
all right. So,
Roll for intimidation.
beautiful. Beautiful. Alrighty. So in Tavir at the Armada Ward, you then move to you're gonna go through the Palace Ward.
Into Najlet, but avoiding that particular spot in Najlet.
Okay. Going into Tavir and entering the Palace Ward, there is, for the first time, a marked difference when leaving one ward and going into the other. You see, this time you are going into the Palace Ward, and the Palace Ward is a place of opulence.
And I'll whisper kind of what the ward is as we're approaching.
Here, they do kind of, they don't necessarily stop each individual person, but the guards are actively in the center of the gate, and they are looking everybody over, up and down, up and down.
I'm going to carry myself a bit haughtier than you've seen.
Okay. Go ahead and make a performance check for me. With
Am I good
advantage,
at that?
because you have done this before.
19.
19?
Nice.
Okay. Moving in through the up towards the gate, you see the guards kind of, one of them kind of steps towards Naja a little bit, but Naja raises an eyebrow as if to dare them to stop her. And the guard moves over off to the side to let Naja and the three of you pass.
Chowdir tries to imitate that gait of, I deserve to be here more than you do. And he will have his book out as if he's like studying it while walking. And like he'll have his quarterstaff as if it's a walking stick, and he's just as if like he's clearly wouldn't expect anyone to stop him while he's
Right.
going through this gate. Just
Right.
I've suddenly gotten about 2 inches taller.
Nice. Martell's just walking. All right, cool.
I'm just vibing.
Yeah. This
you're just
hey
this guy. Bob.
Down over here. He's got a book.
Yeah. Perfect. As you are entering this wall,
Wouldn't part a man from his walking stick.
brilliant, beautiful. Entering into this ward, it's also a 2-story wall. It's the same kind of wall that separates the Armada ward from the dock ward and such. But then upon entering onto the other side, you see that the walls here are at least twice as thick as the one that separates the dock ward and the Armada ward. This one is beefy. And upon reaching the other side, you see that on the other side, the inner walls are made of a much shinier and sturdier stone. The squares are not
walls.
Yeah, they're thick. There you go, Jeremy. God damn. They're not so much in like a
Jeremy
ram.
and I were the same thing.
Chowdir's like, damn.
Beautiful. The blocks are placed. The blocks are placed like as if they had been acutely measured all the way across. It's just perfect symmetry everywhere. The ground here is not stone and dust. It is polished marbles and not marbles, but marble. Polished marble. Polished marbles everywhere.
Baby marbles. Oh,
I lost mine.
We have to
Oh.
find it. It's somewhere in the floor.
No. There is greenery everywhere. There is small fountains and small little gardens. The coverings that shade the streets are made of fine silks and interwoven fabrics that give little intricate designs to the lighting down below. Still the same kind of covering the streets as the other place, but this one is not nearly as this is definitely a step up, and you are here now in the palace ward. It is beautiful. As you are walking, calm down. As you are walking and through these shaded streets, there is a section off to your right as you are moving along, where the shadows are thicker and darker. You can see the homes in that direction look. No, they don't look. It's just a feeling. It's an odd feeling of otherness to that area. It's like the sensation of walking near a tiger's den. You don't see the tigers. You don't particularly know that they're there, but there is that feeling inside, that warning that something is dangerous in that direction. And Naja carefully maneuvers you around it. You can see that the streets would easily, following the path, go through that neighborhood. But she deviates to the left and hugs a little close to the palace walls. But then starts making rights. Very obviously kind of going around, skirting that area where it's constantly off to your right until you are past it. Almost like you feel eyes that are watching you from there. But when you look, there's no one that's looking your direction. You see that there are people who go there. You see that there are, whether they be locals going home or people making deliveries, there are people who go into those sections. No one's looking in your direction, but you just feel watched. But you continue moving through the palace ward. You continue along on this journey. And before you know it, you reach the next section. Are you going to try and go upwards through, how would you even say that? Myom, or going to go south through Khalil?
We're going to go through Khalil because know too many people. Rafi is pretty close to that gate.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Passing into the jewel ward, this gate it still has the same amount of security, one could say, as the one that you entered through, but they are paying less attention to who is going out of the palace ward as much as they are paying attention to who is going in to the palace ward. You also see that, I will say that you have noticed that in the palace ward, though there are still flying reptilians about, there aren't nearly as many as you did see, like with the closer to the harbor, where there was more of a military presence. There's still some flying about, the smaller, cuter ones that look like birds, pigeon size or so, but not as many as the big ones. There were some big ones near the palace, definitely around the palace, but not around the streets per se. Moving into the jewel ward, it is still a beautiful neighborhood. Not as verdant or as filled with greenery and gardens or fine flooring, but still a very beautiful neighborhood. Anything you guys are wanting to do while you guys are walking, or any other conversation you're wanting to have, or just continue on?
What ward are we in already?
You are in the
The
jewel
jewel
ward, passing
Okay, we're
through.
still in the jewel ward. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought
passing-
thought I heard different.
No, you're still in the jewel ward, passing through Khalil right now.
Shaldir will casually ask, "Ever spend much time in this one?" To Naja.
Sometimes a little bit of this, a little bit of that in every one. You can't be a very good guide if you don't know your city well.
It is more reassuring to the people you are guiding. I didn't have much hang-ups anyway, but a guide who skulks around all the upright parts of town does send some flags.
And the trick is to act like you belong, and no one will question.
I've gotten into many libraries that way.
I bet you have.
Oh, Naja, is that you?
From across the street, you see a peacock Aarakocra waving her hands in your direction.
Oh, Naja! Naja! Naja!
I'm trying to find her name. I'm trying to find her name.
A peacock
What a
what?
difference.
Hathor from the wizard ward.
Okay.
You said
Oh
a
my gosh, we're on
peacock
the
what?
list.
Aarakocra.
Aarakocra.
Ah,
Where's that? Okay, there we go. Hathor, what are you doing here?
Oh, come here, give me a hug.
Just see this big peacock Aarakocra comes in and nuzzles Naja for a minute and then comes back out. You see this beautiful woman of an Aarakocra as her feathers all seem to catch the light. She has a very flamboyant looking robes that look they give the effect of being sequined, like catch the light and shimmer it back in 1,000 ways. But it's not sequins. It's just as if you are staring at light that hits a pool of water, and it has that shimmery quality. This cloth seems to have some sort of magical illusion on it that makes the water resplendent. Every time she moves, it seems to catch every curve of her body as it just makes this very big spectacle of the way she presents herself. You see at her side, she's got a gold silken bag that has a bunch of scrolls in it.
Oh, I was just on my way to the palace. I had some deliveries to make. It's so good to see you, dear.
You too. It's been too long. I'm so sorry I haven't been to come see you.
It's all right. I know you're extremely busy. Who are your friends?
I've got some delightful new friends. I think one might be of interest to you. I might have to bring him by sometime.
Oh, you have such beautiful choices. Do I get to pick?
anyone
I will
looking at
let-
Shaldir sees that he gets nervous that she might point him out.
It's the don't call on me
I know
teacher.
You can pick the magic user out of the lineup. I have no doubt to your skill.
Oh, she looks right at Shoudier.
Look at him. He's beautiful.
Looks over at Martell and Sybil.
You are beautiful as well. Don't mind me.
Auntie can make his eyes whatever color you fancy the most.
Really?
And
Shaldir
it's-
turns a shade purple.
As he does so, you see the feathers. She doesn't quite have like the peacock tail per se, but you just see like this illusion of feathers that go around her when she goes, really? Every time she seems to get her focus her attention, her neck elongates in your direction and then comes back and kind of rests in its spot before she goes in again. And cocks her head to the side occasionally.
Shaldir in Milage. And he'll very nervously bow to her.
Ah, you are so sweet. He bows back, and then as she bows, her wings spread out, and now you see this like beautiful range. So whereas most birds have like they have flight feathers, a lot of hers had those peacock eyes on there, and just kind of like goes whoosh, super dramatic. Well, do stop by. I would love to get to see those eyes up close.
I think
would-
you two would have a lot of fun together.
Yes.
I would be most honored. I'm afraid I. Where would one find your lovely abode?
You may go.
Don't worry, I can take you right to her as soon as you like.
Thank you.
I
That's
have-
an excellent guide she is.
She is the best. Simply the best. You have no idea how many times that she has saved my very life in this city. In the Wizard's Ward, find my shop. It's not easy to miss. It is the most beautiful thing you have ever seen. Just like me.
Oh, the most beautiful in all the city.
I know, dear. What's up, Sybil? Please save me. What?
How big are her pupils?
It depends. They kind of go really big and then really small and then really. Anytime she like hyper fixates or hyper focuses on something, her neck goes in that direction and comes back, and she goes. It's like she's studying and then goes and studies. Yeah, she's a
I'm
trip.
gonna emulate all of this eventually.
Yes.
Just knock on Shouter's door in the morning. Shout it!
How'd she know where I live?
Yeet, 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 yeet. Hold on, let me like try to refocus my brain again. But yes, I was just on my way to the palace, so I'm afraid I don't have much time to talk. But do come visit, please, as soon as you can. I would love to be able to talk. It's not often I get to speak with intellectuals such as yourself. This is painful. I want you to know this.
Hey,
I
this
would
is
be
how you
most
interpreted the
honored.
notes.
A blessing to you on the rest of your day.
Thank you, dearest. The rest of you. I'm sorry I did not get your names. You. She looks over at Sybil.
Yeah.
Lydia. Martell.
Gruff Salazar.
Gruff Salazar. A name as quaint and as beautiful as the sands of the desert. Well, I must be on my way, dearest Naja. I will see you soon. I'll make sure to keep the kettle on for you.
Don't worry, I'll be bringing Shadir by very soon for you.
I cannot wait. Bye-bye.
And I'll give her little ladies like a kiss on both sides.
And then just like her little feathered finger, bye-bye, and then kind of goes on.
And as soon as she's out of eye shot, you can just see like
Girl, same.
She seemed very.
I do apologize, Shadir. She takes a lot of
Energetic.
energy.
You see Shaldir cracks his book open and writes something down again, and then closes it.
Beautiful.
So I don't know how much of her I'll be subjected to. She seemed nice enough.
Don't worry, I don't run into her very often or have to do many deals with her, so if our dealings with each other are complete before we run into each other again, I will not subject you to her unless you make me really angry.
Understood. I should come up with an equivalent threat.
Would like to see you
And he
try.
just like scratches his head, and you can see he is actively thinking, but it's just
Perfect.
So while we're walking before we reach our destination, I'm gonna, take Sybil to the side and be like, "So do we have a lead?"
Just kind of touch his shoulder, pat him on the back a little bit, and just we keep walking.
Nice.
Alrighty. Keeping walking, then.
as they're walking, Shaudir suddenly is like, "Oh, I know," and he goes over to Naja. "If you make me angry, I will insist to this what was her name? Hathor, that you must be present for all of my magical doings."
I do believe
You're
you
my focus.
misunderstand the threat. That would be far more entertaining for me. She would
wouldn't
eat
it?
you with a little bitty dessert spoon, bites by bites.
I'm very tough. You would need a different utensil.
No, I think she could manage.
Just gotta heat you up a bit, eh?
That's all I've got for now. I don't have a better thing. But you see him like smile and fall back into line.
All right. Passing then from Khalil of the
Thank you for the
Jewel.
posture check.
Yes, thank you, Isra. From the Jewel Ward over to the Grand Ward, you enter Valen. This section of the Grand Ward, you now understand why they call it the Grand Ward. It is not raised up as high. It kind of sits, so the Jewel Ward kind of sits in a valley between the Palace Ward, and then it kind of goes back up to the Grand Ward. The Grand Ward has several tall buildings, but it has a much, much larger, busy market-like vibe, as this does seem to be where all of the shopping in Kalimport comes
And you'll
from.
see as you pass through, Naja isn't quite as haughty as she's been in the Jewel and the Palace Ward, but still not quite herself from the Dock Ward. It's like a step down.
Graham, I think Sybil already has inspiration.
You'll have to find another one. Hold on.
Aaron, why did you pick a city with 17 sections? It's just you and me and Google Doc until we die.
I know.
Hold on, I can get there. I can scroll.
I know. Well, that's the other thing, is that we did not, for whatever reason, I did not put them in alphabetical order. They're just they're not even they're not even connected. They're just all over the place. You have to scroll through the three. Yeah, we're gonna fix that. But for now, we are in the Jewel Ward. No, we are not in the Jewel Ward. We're in the Grand Ward.
Number 4.
Okay. Okay, now. In this section of Valen, there is a couple of shops that open bazaar kind of feel, where the shops have a couple of stands on the outside. You see food of all varieties. You see knickknacks, curiosities, ceramics of all sorts. You see the brass and metalworking of various lamps and jars and containers. Chests, boxes, fabrics, everything is within sight. Anything you could possibly care to own, rent, or eat or consume of any variety can be found in the Grand Ward. And quickly as you enter, this is all from just moments of entering, you see the building, which would be, let's see, right there. It is, in the corner where the A is, is right across the way. Basically, it's right across the street from Rafi's place.
The one with the red and the blue. parts on it? The little green?
It would be the one next. You see where the water fountain is on the center?
Mm-hmm.
It is
That one.
that three. Yeah,
Just
the
to the
water
left?
fountain. Yes, just to the
Cool.
to right of the A, I guess, on that side.
Oh, that A. I was looking at the...
Not
got you now.
Violent. Yeah, of yours.
I got you now.
So, you do see the Emerald Stream. And it is a building that looks. This one on the outside doesn't really have any like a stand or anything on the inside. You can see that this one just has an entrance in the doorway on top. It has the Emerald Stream. It's got what looks like a green river that kind of comes from the horizon, and a couple of like really fancy, ornate-looking jars, and maybe a basket of goods there on the sides as part of the sign. Naja, of this place, you know very few things. Let me see here. Hold on one second. Let's get this a little lower. Let me go back to my notes. So many pages to go through. This place is owned by a elven man by the name of Azan. Azaan. And he is, like Mother said, a antiquities kind of trader, kind of mostly in antiques, but he does specialize in the oddity more so than anything in particular. Any like normal, antiques. They are usually she's like Mother said, they are usually of a special variety, and thus doesn't get a whole lot of customers. So,
So, Shaldir, shall we go in?
I think so.
Martel,
Like the next proper lead.
Right behind you.
okay, you guys are going into cool. Going into the building. Let me switch this up then. This one. The inside, the moment you open the door, smells of a deep, woody incense. A cedar or sandalwood-like scent fills your nostrils. This room, this place, is kind of dark. For the two large windows that are on the outside, they are somewhat obscured with some semi-transparent fabrics that definitely subdue the light that comes in from the outside. It seems the moment you enter that all of the sounds from outside have faded away as well. It's almost as if you have detached yourself from Kalimport. The presence of the city is melted away, and you are just here, just present. The shelves are lined with all sorts of small baskets that are filled with gem-like little rocks, or a couple of intricate vases and vases of various kinds and various. Nothing looks the same. It looks like you're seeing things from all corners of the globe. You recognize designs from Thay. You recognize designs from the Sword Coast. Even some of the far, far eastern relics of lands that you have only heard tale of. The elven man that sits behind the counter puts down the large, exquisite-looking tome and sets it carefully on the counter as if just by any sudden shift it might crumble into pieces. May I help you? He looks over at Naja.
I'll nudge Shaldir forward.
Looks over at you, Shadir.
Chaldeer will step forward. I've been told that this might be the proper place to look for oddities, particularly those that have to do with the outer planes.
He doesn't say anything. Just not, the very slightest perceptible nod of like, continue.
Would you happen to have known anything about trading of those who come from the outer planes?
He sits up straight in his chair and slowly, smoothly rises to his feet. You hear the slight tinkling of what maybe sounds like beads on beads as he stands. There is no such trading anymore in Kalimport. It is
But there was.
forbidden. Yes? During the time of princes.
During the time of princes. Would you happen to have known anything about that? If one were tracking a specific item, a specific person, from just under 3 decades ago, would you know anything about that?
Sounds expensive. Martel
Too
dies.
expensive?
Martel falls dead on the ground.
Too expensive?
Depends on the purse.
Ah, I see. How about he's going to reach into his pocket and pull out 30 gold pieces. How about 30? For roughly the equivalent amount of years that it would take to go back.
He looks and stares at a point on the counter.
He conjures a mage hand that carries it over there.
Okay. Jeremy, you're terrible. I love you. You put the coins on the countertop and raises an eyebrow, looks down at his book and shifts the page over. The shop is probably about 15 by 20. For as big of a storefront as it is, it looks like it's a very small showroom. From your vantage point, I would say the four of you can see that the ink on the book shifts and moves like a mirage before resettling again with words that kind of like shift back into place. And look, he looks up at you. Azan looks up at you expectantly. Well, what is it you seek?
Chaudier looks at his companions. I am on the trail of an iron flask. One that came from here 30 years ago. Have you heard of such things?
You can see that there is a lot that is happening in his mind. There's a moment where he's just kind of like, there's a couple of flickers of different reactions. Make an insight check for me.
Damn. That is an 8. I trust him.
He just kind of seems to think for a minute. Martel, Sybil, and Naja, if you're wanting to kind of read the situation or if you're minding your own
Oh,
business,
yeah,
let me
dude.
know.
Oh, I'm reading the situation.
15.
Like a book.
16.
What am I rolling?
Insight.
Your favorite thing.
11.
11. Okay. Hard to read. Naja, you got a 16?
15.
Or did 15?
I got a
Martel got a 16. Martel, you see that there is a moment where his facial expression kind of goes around from like, and I guess Naja, you pick up on this too a little bit. He goes like an iron flask, really, kind of like this all of this for an, and then he looks Shaudir up and down, and looks at everybody else as well. Just the quickest little flick of the eyes as he kind of like takes in everything, and then his eyes kind of narrow at Shaudir a little bit. I would imagine that you might have to be a little more specific with this, but if I am to gather your intent, it is not common for us to deal with such items. But
Then
occasionally,
it should be easy to remember.
Indeed. 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 Why do you ask? Of what value is this to you from so long ago?
Well, an iron flask has a lot of value in and of itself, does it not?
Unfortunately, those items we no longer carry here. I'm sorry. Naja, what were you going to say?
Have we ever done business with him before?
Not directly. Maybe once or twice in your time where you actually paid attention to these things. This
Okay.
Azan is very much, you don't know. In fact, of the people in the Grand Ward, he is one of those that the family doesn't know a whole lot about where he gets his stuff from.
Gotcha.
But he is definitely shifty. But he knows how to do business.
Well, the good news, sir, is that I'm not looking for that particular item anymore. I'm simply tracking it. Did one pass through here?
I'm afraid I cannot help you.
Shaudir will take a step forward, and his with thaumaturgy, his voice will get a little bit more perceptibly loud. You can't, or you won't.
In your mind, Shaudir, you just hear this growl.
Oh, I didn't hear anything. Sorry.
Damn it! Well, it's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It was a growl.
A growl in my
Yeah,
head.
a growl. A really low, rumbly growl. You heard it, Drummy? Did you?
Oh, really? Dang.
Dang.
I missed out then.
All right. Well, that was a growl. Cool.
And Shaldir clearly is going for a more intimidating stance.
Okay. Then you will roll a intimidation check for me.
That is a 19.
All right. Let me. No, wrong page. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna roll a. Ho 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 ho. He leans forward. And with him, as he leans forward, all of the shadows seem to pool along with him. As if the back end of the room gets equally as dark as his facial features. And he doesn't like necessarily get any bigger, but his presence just seems to match yours. As he also rolled a 19. I can't.
Then who can?
Najee,
And
go ahead.
as the shadows pull in, I want to thaumaturgy all the lights to get brighter and push back against the shadow, but I also kind of want to like pull the back of Shaldir, kind of pull him a step back.
I was gonna say, Naja, you know as little as you know about this man. If anybody's a vampire, he's definitely a vampire.
Yes.
Sybil's like, I knew it.
No, you are getting the sense that this is a man that is a big question mark, and one of the several big question marks in the city. You've gotten enough of a thing to know that maybe he knew at one point what Shadir was talking about. This is not a empty or like shifting thing. He literally can't, but is willing to defend himself.
Shaldir, I think it's time to go.
Shaldir, his voice goes back to normal volume. And despite kind of keeping that confrontational eye contact with Azan, he bows, but keeping his eyes on him. Thank you for your time, then.
Thank you for your gold.
And he will turn and not storm out, but just kind of slowly walk out the room.
That's the calmest we've ever seen him.
Mm-hmm.
I, I say that to Gruff.
Okay.
Gruff just kind of chuckles.
All right. You guys exit the Emerald Stream and back out into the city streets.
Shaldir, perhaps there is more to you than meets the eye.
You see a small smirk on the side of his mouth, and he's just like, I don't know what you could possibly mean by that.
Though I will warn you, remember, keep your wits about yourself. Learn when to step back. Just as important as when to push forward.
There's not often been an opportunity to push forward. I thought this might be one. Usually, in my quest, I've just come across books or people that simply might know what the item is and have no idea what else. And I meet someone who might have an idea of what I'm looking for and simply can't.
There is a reason why we have not made better connections with that one.
Well, that was my most secure one. Perhaps it's back to the libraries for me. Maybe checking out the wizard ward.
Aaron, remind me what kind of place Rafi's place is.
It is a more tavern than inn.
Well, I think you might need a drink. What about the rest of you?
We can always go for one of those.
I agree.
Lydia, perhaps we can chat a bit over something to drink?
Probably. Lydia's taking notes.
What am I doing?
maybe you and I can chat some more over drinks.
Absolutely.
We could make arrangements.
All right, cool. Well, as you guys go across the street into Rafi's place, and it's unmarked, as it is kind of one of those if you know kind of things, you know. If you know where to go. It's not quite a dive bar for the Grand Ward, but it is one of the
Like what
best...
rich people think a dive bar is?
Yes, it is one of the better kept secrets of the Grand Ward, and there are not a lot of secrets in the Grand Ward.
A bunch of hipsters.
As you enter into into Rafi's place, there is someone who is around the corner, just where the business is the most moving. There's a veiled tiefling woman in blue watches as the party enters Rafi's place and then turns back to disappear into the crowd. And that is where we are going to end for tonight.
Okay, do we all see her this time or just Sybil?
No one sees her this time.
Ooh.
Audience sees her.
Audience sees her. So, beedoo. Huzzah! Who is this tiefling in blue? I wonder who
Literally
you
no
are.
one. Misdirection.
Dum dum dum. I ain't seen shit. Drummy. A speakeasy. That's good. Yeah. I wonder, Dreamy. I wonder.
She be.
I
She's
don't know.
your real character. You're playing an NPC right now, and then at some point you'll play her.
Yeah. And, okay. Well, lovely. As we settle in for another as reading chat and talking at the same time is not a good thing. At the end of our session tonight, thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with us this lovely Monday. As a reminder, once again, our normal Tuesday night session is going to be on a Wednesday night this week, as I have had to shift some things around. But do come and say hello. Also, we'll see. I think, Dream, you have one more? Yes, two more.
Two more fake courts, but we are taking 2 Sundays off, so we're back the 26th, whatever that Sunday is.
Okay. So next session, make sure to, next Monday, come back and check us out here for the continuation of the exciting adventure of Rescuers, the Call of Zool, and we'll see who the heck Rafi is, and who and where the heck we go from here. Who that is, and we, maybe we'll see some more Hathor. Who knows? Hopefully, God, I hope not. All right. Hopefully that was her one time.
Must join the party, Aaron.
No Silver Moon, only Zool. Perfect. All righty, guys. We'll see you next time. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.